bikes with Alistair Seeley in pole position, Lee Johnston and Dean Harrison beside him.
And what a front two rows. Hillier, Hickman and Dunlop. It is going to be fast and furious.
Derek McGee, Paul Jordan, Davey Todd the next row.
Hutchinson, Cummins and Jamie Coward, number 36. So it is 6 laps, the Tides Restaurant SuperSport race, and it's always thrilling for this. Perfect conditions, we know, a little bit of a breeze. Who's going to get off the line as the lights go out and they fire off? Is it number 34? Seeley? No, it isn't. It's number 13 on the inside.
Lee Johnston got away well, didn't he? But now he's been blitzed. That started well, but now he's back to second place as they go up over the top of the hill and down towards York Corner with that man back in front. Oh, and look at James Hillier.
Yeah, you wouldn't bet against Alistair Seeley off the line, but there is Hillier, number 37, right behind. On the inside of him is Lee Johnston. They're neck and neck as they come out of York Corner up to Mill Road roundabout. And look at this freight train of bikes, and will Seeley disappear? I don't think so.
He's got a job on his hands. There's a full pack of proper competitive, very early on, proper competitive riders right behind him.
That was number 14 there, Daly Matheson.
Yeah.
On board with Lee Johnston. Look at the revs coming up on the screen there. He's over the top of the hill and they head down towards Station Corner. Alistair Seeley will be trying everything to get through. They're absolutely flat out. Remember, the tyres aren't completely up to temperature. These bikes not as fast as super bikes. Some slipstreaming going on. I think that was James Hillier.
Look at this, 150 miles an hour, and that's what the slipstream does for Lee Johnston and James Hillier.
Oh, tremendous stuff. Look at that, over 14,000 RPM. We're doing about 173 miles an hour, is about the top speed of one of these, but maybe a little bit more with the slipstream effect. Fastest part of the course, but they have got a bit of a headwind.
On board with Davey Todd. Looking back at Connor.
Yeah, Connor Cummins on the Paget Honda, trying to get back in the tow. You can just see poor old Connor can't really get his head under the screen. He's very, very tall. That is a bit of an issue, but he's really good on the brakes. Who is going to be the best of the breakers? And it's Hillier.
Look at that. I thought Lee Johnston, he probably thought he got that one done and dusted, but James Hillier had other ideas.
Most certainly did. Into the roundabout now. Tyres fully up to temperature. On board with Lee Johnston on the Ashcourt Yamaha R6. Through the cambered part as they drop over the top there and head up towards Mathers Cross, and those lights flashing on there telling you to shift gear. When they all start flashing, it's time to shift gear, and he's got the slipstream. So Lee Johnston has got past James Hillier now. Who's going to be best of the brakes? Because Alistair Seeley slotted into second place, but I'm going to say Lee Johnston on the inside, looking back from Davey Todd to Connor Cummins.
Still got Connor in the slipstream right behind him, and he's tucked down as low as he's going. Gary Johnson, the man behind him, but here is your new race leader again, Lee Johnston, in front of James Hillier.
Look at this, there's a freight train of about 20 guys all together at the moment, so we now look back on the EHA racing machine. And
Here comes Seeley.
Yeah, it is Seeley, but also James Hillier. Lights flashing everywhere,
yes.
But it is Seeley down the inside into the McAvoy chicane. Second gear corner, this is flicking it through right, left, and then getting on the power as early as you possibly can with the run down. Tailwind now, the wind behind them, and downhill. Look at Lee Johnston. Beautiful run from him through there.
All the lights flickering, telling him to change gear. He hasn't got any left.
Yes, and here is Gary Johnson looking back from Davey Todd. On the RAF reserves machine, Gary's a little bit injured, but he's good on the brakes coming down into here. Lee Johnston, the 30-year-old.
So nice to see him back.
Gary Johnson up the slip road.
You know, he's riding with a really badly injured leg, badly burnt, we should say. He's in a lot of pain. And you can forgive him things like that. Just amazing that he's here.
Yeah, anyway, he got in the slipstream and I think just lost his braking point, but we're back with the leaders now. Alistair Seeley. This is the Yamaha machine that he's riding. He rode this bike, took 2 wins here last year on this pretty much similar bike.
Yes, he said they keep rebuilding it and changing the swing arms, changing bits and pieces, but it's like Trigger's broom.
It really is. Dean Harrison's in the picture there as well. He's on the Kawasaki, as is James Hillier. So it's Yamaha first and second at the moment.
Harrison at the back of this pack, he's due a win here. Lee Johnston, lovely to see him back on form, and lovely to see Gary Johnson
I think he's
pulling it off. Yeah, I think he must be hurting.
The Triumph, the lovely sounding Triumph machine. Right, here we go. We've got a little bit of a breakaway group, just a touch, and I think just behind them is Paul Jordan. 5th spot.
James Hillier has been sort of very low-key but very relaxed and confident all through practice this week, and he is in a podium position at the moment. But Dean Harrison
jams it down the inside of James Hillier. Yeah, he does. And that is Paul Jordan and Michael Dunlop also in that pack behind, but they're dragging themselves back up to the leading pack.
And Lee Johnston is dragging everybody along in his slipstream. Lee, is he just watching and waiting?
Well, I think they'll already be thinking about that last lap. We know what it's like down into Juniper Chicane. There goes Michael Dunlop getting through there, the 30-year-old from Ballymoney.
And as the slipstream does its work, Lee Johnston is dragging Alistair Seeley closer and closer.
Oh, wow, that's incredible, isn't it? That station corner, one of the most important corners on the course, simply trying to get your power down early enough.
Bold from Lee, tried to block that, take away Alistair Seeley's line, but it wasn't happening. And Gary Johnston's back out. I'm sure he just pulled in. He must have gone in for an adjustment. He must be had a problem on the bike rather than pain in his leg.
Yeah, well, he went through that chicane, didn't he? Paul Jordan, look at that. As James Hillier looks over his shoulder, he can see Paul Jordan using those 4 bikes there, knocking a big hole in the air for him to close that gap down.
I thought you weren't supposed to turn round. Don't look behind you.
Well, normally your visor blows off or something else, or your head blows off at these sort of speeds. Look at this, trying to get in the slipstream there. Number 65, Michael Sweeney. Right, into the roundabout. Downshifting. Second gear. We can see everything looking good. Temperature's looking good. We're the data logging system as we ride with Lee Johnston.
Lee Johnston must be thinking, is it my turn today? What can I do about Alistair Seeley? Where is he going to come for me? Now, I think.
Alistair Seeley will already be thinking about what's the best position to be in at what part of the course. It is the last lap, and I always think Juniper is the last chance. So there he goes past pretty late on the brakes. These two guys, similar in stature, I'd have said. They're quite light riders. They're on virtually identical motorcycles, different colour, but they are the same model.
Yeah, ideal 600 riders. And Dean Harrison's not a big bloke either, so he's well suited to the small bikes as well.
81 degrees temperature, that's fine. Oh, got in the draft, and you see all those lights start flashing,
isn't it?
Yeah, and that was when he was coming up towards the limiter, I would have said, as he gets in the slipstream, and it's so important. We've said it along many times. You've got to get your gearing just right, so it's not on the limiter when you are in the slipstream.
It's cumulative, isn't it? The slipstream sort of tugs you and it keeps you, and all of a sudden you get like the elastic effect, and it throws you at the bike.
Yeah, it does. It can give you 5-6 miles an hour, no problem whatsoever, as they're trying to punch a hole in the air. The bike is doing everything it can. It's all about getting the grip and not going over too many bumps and jumps so you lose traction. But Seeley,
over the bumps and out in front.
Yeah, moves over to the right-hand side. In fact, these two had a tangled right here at Metropole a few years back. I remember they weren't talking so much at that point. I am riding with Davey Todd on the Milenko Paget machine. That's number 36 right behind him, Jamie Coward from Midgley.
And up on to the hill. Oh, that's such a shame, isn't it?
Paul Jordan was having a brilliant ride. Absolutely brilliant, but that's a shame. So now there is just the 4, because it was 5 before Paul Jordan pulled out.
And Lee Johnston bossing his way into the corner there. He knows that Seeley is going to give it absolutely everything in the next couple of miles. Gary Johnson giving it everything up to 8th place again now.
Yeah, did a good job considering he went up the slip road and then had to stop and put his foot down. That's great. That's Neve. That's Craig Neve's gone down. Goodness me, that's a fast section. That Rector did well, but this is where it's all about. We're coming up down to the Juniper Chicane. Who's it going to be? Who's going to be the latest on the brakes? Oh,
he's right in the dust. He's done it. He's through.
He's late on the brakes. He's going in there. Is he going to get it stopped? No, he's going deep. Oh, he's got on the gravel now. So
no.
Seeley is down. Seeley is down. Lee Johnston cannot believe what's going on. I'm sure he's lucky not to get clobbered there, but he went in there too deep. Lee Johnston gets his 4th Northwest 200 win. He's just got to get through this final corner, and he's done it.
Lee Johnston, we said he was back on form, and he's back on the top step of the podium. Let's hope Craig Neve and Alistair Seeley now are okay. He looked very pleased with that, doesn't he?
Good ride there from Dean Harrison, and there's confirmation of it. Lee Johnston, Dean Harrison, James Hillier. How close were they at the top? Michael Dunlop, Jamie Coward, Ian Hutchinson in 6th.
What a race that was, and what a win for Lee Johnston.
Lee, congratulations. How satisfying is that win at the Northwest 200?
Oh, do you know what? I've had a bad 2 years, and it feels so good to be back with